Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dark Bull Algo, and thanks for joining me on another weekend watch list building session. Today is Sunday, July 4th, 2021. Happy birthday, America. I wanted to take a few minutes to do a quick video for this week's watch list. We're going to be looking at stocks and options that have a higher probability than normal for making a move this week. Now, with that being said, I'm going to be using several tools. One of them is the Smart Money Block Trade and Dark Pool software. It's provided by those traders over at FlowTrade. If you haven't got your trial yet, or if you're not subscribed, go ahead and take a moment, link in the description, go get your trial, learn a new strategy, add to an existing strategy, see what smart money is doing before the market reacts. Now, that being said, I've got my charts set up already. I've already gone through and done a lot of marking up. I just want to try to get through this one relatively quickly. So if you're new here, or if this is your first weekend watch list, just real quick, the purple line that you see on the FlowTrade algorithm is the FlowTrade normal algorithm. Any blue lines are block trades or dark pool block trades. Red lines are regular block trades. Now, yellow I try to use exclusively for trend direction or other key indications like support resistance, divergence, algo curling up. Okay, that's just a quick overview. As far as my charts are concerned, I use 10x bars. We've got some proprietary tools in here. Obviously, Squeeze Pro. I'm not super thrilled on this volume thing yet. Maybe cutting it rather than keeping it. The B4 indicator. I've been talking with them a lot lately, trying to see if we can get anything worked out. Typically what I'll do is I'll go through the daily and I'll bust over to the 4-hour and then try to look at some shorter time frames. I use Keltner channels and Fibonacci for support resistance targets, those type of things. Now, with all that being said, if you find this content useful, which I know you do, all I ask is that you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really does help us small content creators out, and when we're working with the YouTube algorithm. So, if you are learning to trade stocks, if you want to learn how to trade options, if you want to learn technical analysis, you're at the right place. So let's just make sure you keep spreading the knowledge. I'm out here just want you guys to be better traders. That's all I want. So with that being said, let's jump into the intro, and then we'll be back. Okay. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining me, and I don't want to take up too much more time, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, the stocks we're going to be looking at this week are ATVI, FEYE, FAZ, KSU, LUV, and there's a couple other runners up. Potentially, if I have time, I will get to them. UNH looks really good, so maybe we'll get to it. Now, looking at ATVI on the FlowTrade algorithm, so what I'm seeing is we've got, I'll just double mark up some of these just for simplicity. I'm leaving it as blue. So we've got divergence that occurred at the end of last week. Massive net buying. The algo is maintaining a nice steady uptrend. It looks like we've got a little double top here. We need to try to break up and above. The algo is currently trading up at these dark pool and regular block trade levels up at 98.75. A little concerning. I need to see this algo curl back up and break through those two previous dark pool levels. That's definitely going to be a strong indication that the stock's going to continue to the upside. So with that being said, let's look at ATVI on our price action. All right, ATVI. Okay, looking at ATVI on the daily, it's pretty much just chopped within a range for the last little while. We've got an ATR of about $2 a day, decent beta, 2-day, 3-day, 4-day weekly squeeze are going to fire off. That 3-day and 4-day should fire off to the long side. Getting a little slingshot reversal right here on the histogram for the Squeeze Pro. As soon as that turns to the light blue and fires off, we're not really in a daily squeeze. However, if I throw this up on the 2-day, throw it up on the 2-day, we can see that, get back here. Get back here. Too far. Right, we're just in this low to mid compression squeeze. I'd like that histogram to curl around a little bit more to really get us to launch to the upside. So let me get this back to the daily. All right. We've got a couple things that I want to look at. We've got, so what do we do? We sold off to the 200 SMA. We came back up. We tested the 618 of this previous high to previous low. We're kind of just trading in this channel, right? Or in this wedge, right? This long-term flag wedge, whatever you guys want to call it. But this has been going on for months. So I would look at this as a potential just pullback to the 50 SMA for the next move up. Definitely want to keep an eye on it. If we can maintain this 8 EMA support, close that, and we closed right above the 34. So if we can maintain our current level, right, which is at the 382 retracement of the high to low Fibonacci retracement. Yeah, so we're at 382. We're at the 382 level. So price action came up, hit the 618, came back down, tested the 382. Now this can be a 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern, which kind of like what we did here. 1, right? 1, 2, 3. That's what we're looking to do. Keep in mind we've got some overhead resistance of this longer term downward trend line, right, from this previous high. That may cause us to bump into some things, and it looks like we've got some previous resistance here, previous highs here, right? Get back here. Pop it. So basically, that's our supply zone. Let me get back here. Sorry, I modified my charts a little bit, and I want to just make sure that I get the best that I can. All right, here we go. So this could be a nice little supply zone. This could be a target 98 to 99.50, right? We've got increasing and rising MACD. The slingshot needs to happen. We've got some pretty good, primary cycles on our MACD lining up. The hourly and the daily are positive, bringing us down to the 4-hour. So, yeah, this is just an example of that retracement to retreat, finding support at the 34 before the potential next move past 95, 96, and going up to target 98, right? So histograms are nice and blue. We need the MACD to curl up a little bit more. I may be a little early on this, so 4-hour squeeze fired off. We still have that 2-day that should fire off, or 3-day, 4-day should fire off to the long side. As far as options are concerned, ATVI for this week's, depending on where we open, I've got support at 93 with resistance at 94, 95, 96. I like, let's see, what did I say? I moved $2 a day. We can either target the 99s out on the 16th, right? Which, looking at the open interest, so the hundreds on the 16th are a big interest. I like the 95s. I'm going to look at the 95s for July 16th, right? That gives me a little bit of time. And I'm going to try to get those to right around $1, all right? As far as the chart is concerned, this is what those look like. I'm going to try to get to right. If I close here, those options expire worthless. So the goal is for this stock to come up and for me to start taking profit. If it gets close to this area, right, I'm going to start taking some profit. Obviously, the target itself is, breaking 100, right? So the way that looks is that the price action would continue to move upwards, run into some resistance here, potentially come back and test previous supports, like at 97, for the continued move upwards, right? So that's ATVI. Next one I wanted to look at was FEYE, F-E-Y-E. Lots of block trades, stop levels. These are going to provide support and resistance, very similar to previous highs and previous lows. So looking at the chart, we've got divergence coming back to the 29th, where price action and the algorithm diverged. I like that the algo is certainly curled upwards. We've got nice strong uptrend with price action. Look for some of these dark pool levels at 20.55 and then pretty much every 30 cents above that to come in and provide some resistance. Currently we're finding support right at 20 with FEYE on the daily. So this is just a long consolidation pattern, bull flag, right? I have to draw it out, but you can hopefully by now y'all can see this, right? Hopefully everybody can see this by now. Right, just giant bull flag. We're just bouncing back and forth in it. The 200 rising, so the 200-day is rising. Right, we're going to use that as uptrend support. We've been in the massive consolidation for weeks, right? Currently we've got, what do we move? About $1 a day. I'm really interested in these upper time frame squeezes, this weekly, 4-day, and 3-day. Mainly the 4-day and the weekly. Those look gorgeous. When those fire off, they should be pretty explosive. So very similar to the last one that we looked at, where price action had gone up, came back down, and out of that, so we sold off, we came back up, we broke above the 618, ran into some overhead resistance right here at a previous low, this is going to be our supply zone. We slowly sold back off to 50% retracement. So what I'd like to see is I'd like to see it get back and above. You know, we've got this little shorter term downtrend that we need to get out of from underneath. But definitely like to see, you know, if we get a break above 21, then we can move up here to 22 and 23. I like the beta. I like the squeeze. Let's see what else we got here. Squeeze is firing. I need MACD to curl around a little bit more. This could be a little reversal, but I definitely want to see if we can get, you know, possibly back up to 22 by the 16th. Looking at the 4-hour, kind of a little bit of the same, right? We sold off, came back down, we touched previous lows, broke up and above, and now we're just kind of selling off, but I believe we may have found some support here. If anything, we may need to come back down and touch the 382 before we truly reverse. So with that being said, our stack moving averages are negative. We've got a squeeze expanding to the upside. We've got this little slingshot squeeze getting ready to fire off. If the MACDs can curl up and around, that would be great. I thought I saw a 10x bar on this 4-hour. So contrarian though, if we can't break above the 200-day SMA on the 4-hour, and we do come back down and test the 382, it's not actually a bad thing. That would provide maybe an opportunity for the slingshot to fire off, for the fib pattern to complete, and then we move back up to the upside. So with that being said, I like this target here, this 22. Well, let's look at the options chain real quick. So going out to the 16th, right? Tons of open interest right at 21, right? 21, 22, 23. These are definitely well within some pretty significant risk profiles for a lot of people. So if we do fade back to 382, these 1950s, or even these 19s might look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and throw FA 716. Look at the 20, and let's look at the 19 to $20 calls based on open. Okay, that's FEYE. The next one I look at is FAZ. All right, again, falling, or kind of like a little falling wedge, right? Pattern on price action. The Algo diverged back on the 28th. It really began divergence pretty significantly over here on the 30th. The Algo is pretty much vertical. It's got this sort of rising megaphone, right? Kind of got this little channel that it's in as well, right? I would like the Algo to curl back up and around off of this level here. If we can break this over this downtrend, or this, what is that? This overhead trend line resistance. What is that? Overhead resistance, downward trend line resistance. Yeah. If we can get up and above that, I'd like to get long on this, right? That's FAZ. FAZ on the chart. Oh, FAZ. So we've just been in this, right, massive downtrend. This could be a cup and handle that's formed a little bit. Consolidation on our MACD. I'd like it to curl up and around. We could be bouncing here, right? I like the 2-day and 3-day squeeze. I like the good. We've got some decent VWAP, right? It looks like we're maintaining the support level here, right at 26 area, right? Financial bear ETF. So I didn't even realize what this was until I just read it. So what this is saying is, if the market takes a dump, this is the financial inverse ETF for whatever, I can't remember what the ETF for finance is. I think it's IWF, right? So this is saying that if the market starts to take a dump, the stocks can go up. With that being said, this is more of a hedge play, right? Just have this in your back pocket. It's consolidating. Like, if this were a stock and not an inverse ETF, I'd say it's getting ready to make a move. Think of this like VIX, right? But this is the ETF you play when the financial sector is taking a dump. So okay. So the chart itself says that it's ready for a continued move to the upside. I'm gonna load or just have on watch some of these right, these are July 16th. Oh, it's like, that was weird. Some of these July 16th verticals at, like, this one looks wacky here. Maybe some of these 28s, right? I apologize. I thought that this was a different one. Anyway, so the 28 call, if we get a financial pullback. Inverse ETF, meaning finance dumps, this rises. Okay. All right. Now I know what FAZ is. So now we're going to play a KSU. All right, KSU, completely different story. It's been diverged since the 21st, but really, I would say since the 28th. Nice strong uptrend with the Algo. The Algo's pretty much been net buying. So we've got this little rising wedge that we're looking for a continued breakout of. No real block trades to speak of as far as the chart is concerned. Right, so this stock has a tendency to gap and go and fade, gap and go, gap and fade. So if I were to go, I don't even know where I can find support at this level. What I'm interested in with this one is the divergence that has occurred. The MACD is about to curl back around. We've got this little slingshot squeeze getting ready to fire off, right? Looks like we've maintained some support here right at, right at 281, right? That 281 level. Definitely want to see it come up and test 290, 300, and 305. So as far as FIB goes, we go from this high to this low. We still have, a natural retrace to 294, which is also this 500 or the 50-period SMA. Wow. So selling off, we came down, found the bottom. Looks like we're having a little trouble getting back above our moving averages, but when these squeeze, I'm really interested in this squeeze, right? Releasing, right? We're above our Keltner channel top. We've got some uptrend here, right? That we're trying to make a move to the upside. Looking for that squeeze to fire off. We got to run into earnings coming up. So potentially I'd like to see us come up and test the 290 level. As far as the options go, with earnings on before the 16th, right? Those 290s. This options chain is wackadoodled because of that. Pretty low IV though. I need this options chain to kind of even out a little bit. $290. Well, I'm going to come back to KSU later in the week. Let me tell you why. This options chain is horrible. I want to see it kind of get a little bit more consistent, right? There's just, the spread's too wide for there to be, for it to make sense at all to get into this. So I would recommend just watching it for a couple of days and come back and we're going to check on it on Wednesday and see if anything is kind of straightened itself out. Okay, that's KSU. Not super thrilled with what the Algo produced this week. LUV, definitely like LUV, right? So we've got this, downward trend line that we're trying to break out of, kind of like a little wedge here. If we can get above this regular block trade at 53.66, we've got, overhead at 54, 55. We've got a cluster at 55.87. The Algo has diverged from price and is rising. If I can get this Algo to get above this previous Algo line high, I would look for it to continue to pull LUV up, right? LUV, I know on LUV, I know, which is Southwest Airlines. I know it has decent options. Look at this rolling ugliness. Don't know where this line came from, so it's just a weird shape. That's too round to be in the stock market, right? It's just round. So this is what I'm looking at. We bounced off the rising 200 SMA on the daily, right? We're trying to get back and revert to the 34. So we can play the reversion to the mean, which is the 21, if there's a continued move down to the downside, right? Looking at this squeeze that's getting ready to curl over and fire off to the, we'd like it to do that little slingshot squeeze effect. If I were to do a fib, right, the 382 retracement from this high to this low is coming in right at 34. So, I mean, even if we need to play the retracement to the mean or possibly the 34, that's a nice $3 move. And then it can make its decision if it wants to continue to the downside or if it wants to come back, test the 21, and continue up to the upside. So, I'm looking at the 55s. Right, we kind of bounced off of this previous demand zone from way back here. Right, nice little bounce. Like that little slingshot to continue to curl over and release to the long side. Right, get back up into those monthly, break above the 4-hour calendar channel tops. Get back into those monthlies. Right, the monthly bottom. Get back into the daily bottom. We can get into the daily bottom and above the calendar channel 4-hour top, and we can go up here and test, this 57 level, right? Monthly squeeze is going to fire. So we got this mid timeline squeeze that we're looking to take advantage of. That's what we're looking to do. So obviously 56, 57s. Going out to next week, just because of the short week, right? The 56, 57s are way decent. I personally am going to look at these 54s, right? So that's whoa. Cool. All right, well, that's it. That's my time. Thanks for joining me. Once again, my name is Algo. It's been another weekend watch list building session. Hopefully y'all learned something. There's a couple stocks I think I'm super early on. I'm going to go back and review my scans and review the positions of specific stocks. See if I can get maybe some bigger names that are in a good position to make a move. Kind of like, you think UNH with its gap and flat, gap and flat, gap and flat, that this is a flat for the next gap. Possibly, kind of looks overextended. Our block trades for the last 20 days are back down here at 400 and the stock's at 410. Looking at UNH on the chart, this is a freebie, y'all. Looking at UNH on the daily, right? I threw a fib on it. This is a lot more exciting stock. Squeezes, histograms hasn't fired out yet, but when it does, we've got it rising. Okay, so positives. $6 ATR, stacked moving averages, daily, 2-day, 3-day squeeze that needs to fire off, right? I'm not happy with VWAP, but I am happy with beta, right? We breached our monthly Keltner channel top, positive MACDs on the hourly and the daily, right? Stacked positive moving averages. We're above the 50 SMA. We're above the 200 SMA. We've got a light blue histogram on the daily and a mid compression squeeze. Our MACD is positive and increasing, right? We just got a buy signal, which means that our RSI and stochastic crossed above the upper Bollinger Band. There's an influx of capital that came in on Friday, right? So these are all positive for UNH. The Algo is pretty much flatlined. If I were to zoom in, right, this is bullish or bearish divergence. We need price to come back down and for the Algo to cross back up and above, right? Zoomed in, this is bearish divergence, right? So the Algo is doing one thing, price action is doing another, right? This divergence that started on the 25th took, 6 days to complete. So we have potential of continued move to the upside. Hopefully the Algo can change its mind and curl back up to the upside as well. Looking at targets, there's no real momentum and volume coming in. If that comes in and turns these yellow 10x bars green and we can get back above 411.20, I think that we can make a move to these previous highs over here at 415, 418, right, and 425. Looking at UNH options, they just added 50-cent. Looks like they added some $2.50 increment options, right? Which means that they feel like it's going to land somewhere in between. $15 move. So we've got earnings coming up on the 15th, so this could be that 8-day run up into earnings, right? 425. All right, these 420. Either the 430 or the 425s are I like. So that being said, you can also sell the 400 395. Put credit spread, right? So that's it. All right, you got a freebie. Thanks for joining me. Everybody have a great day. Go out and spend some time with your family, and we will see you all. I'm going to do another video on Monday. See if I can find some other higher named momentum stocks that are looking good as far as the Algo is concerned as well. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to y'all soon.